Peace, world. How's everything going? How's your day been? Life, eh? Life. It's really hard sometimes, isn't it? It really is. It's really hard sometimes. You know what I mean? So the hard thing about it, though, when you look at it, what is it? Your reaction, I suppose, to outward events. That's what makes it hard. You know what I mean? Your viewpoint on things. Your emotions. How you let your emotions weigh you down. Do you know what I mean? It's more of an inside job, innit? You know, we don't always react the same to like a certain event. Some people brush it off, you know, it's like, but to other people, like, it's the end of the world. So suppose how you ride your emotions, isn't it, really? Who's in control, you or your emotions, I think. For instance, it's just the little things. You're so busy watching out for like the big things to hit you, and you're preparing your armor and stuff, and it's just the little things that get in between your armor that start to niggle at you. Which I find. Yeah, so this morning, getting ready for work and whatnot, you know, I don't like being late. I hate rushing around, I do. So I get to work like an hour before, sit down in the car park in my car, and like read, get an hour's studying in before I do anything. So get dressed and whatever you come out the house. What do we see parked up next to my car? My car's parked up on our drive. But what do we see parked up next door? Like I say, it's just the little things. Free country as well, mind. So I shouldn't really be bothered about this, but there's a carbon copy of my car, right? The neighbour's only gone and bought a car identical to mine. I'm going to say identical. The only difference is the number plate. I'm not even joking. You wouldn't know whose car that was, apart from the number plate. Colour, trimmings, rims, everything. I thought I was tripping, you know, when I come outside. I had to shake my head. I was like, am I seeing double here or what? What's happening? It wouldn't have been so bad if it was like, you know, down the street and you're driving and it's like, oh, there's a car looks like mine. But it was right next to it. You couldn't make it up. And I was like, am I dreaming? I had to pinch myself. I'm like, huh? But yeah. So it's like, why? You couldn't pick another colour? Oh, God's sake. Hey? I don't know. Exactly the same, you know. Exactly the same. Yeah. So yeah, that started off the day. I mean, so I'm driving like this because scrunched up face, all the way to work. Like I say, that shouldn't bother me. You know what I mean? So I was struggling with myself all the way to work. But yeah, life, mate, gives you all these little, you know, little slaps here and there to test you. Constantly testing you. You know. That's why you just have to like force yourself into a good mood. Because there's always something or someone. You know what I mean? Just one little word, you know, and I'll get you struggling for a good half an hour to maintain your composure and get it back up to speed, you know, because the mind has a funny way of, it likes to replay the things that hurt you. You know what I mean? Instead of like the good things, it focuses on the bad things, and you know, you think you've got rid of it, and your mind's like, here you go, here, have some more. Yeah, get this down you. And it's like, ah. So it is a struggle. It is about effort, isn't it? You know. Yeah. God creates the canvas, and all the potential is there, and then we have to create our own little niche, don't we? You know, can't blame God for everything. But yeah, this morning was funny. You get most of your news off social media now as well, I've noticed. Come back from work, quick little scroll through on TikTok. You find out San Diego's on fire now. It's out Southern California. So I've had to text a couple of people I know over there to see, you know, what the crack is, if it's close to them or what have you. You know what I mean? It's like, what? You don't know what's around the corner now, do you? I mean, life isn't set. We all know that. But in these days and times, everything's just weird, isn't it? Everything's just weird. You don't know what's around the corner. 5 years ago, did you expect to be like going home early from work with a worldwide lockdown? Worldwide? Are you seeing that coming? You know what I mean? It's like you don't know what's around the corner, man. You really don't. You know what I mean? That was weird in itself. But yeah. Government disclosures about UFOs and all of this type of thing. And it's like, what's going on? UFOs. They're trying to say it's aliens. I ain't buying that. You know what I mean? Because think about it. Think about it for a second. If you was to tell someone, say like 200 years ago, that you could get how much tonnage of metal to fly across the globe in the shape of a bird, you'd probably think you was a witch or something. You know what I mean? Try and burn you at the stake or whatever. You know what I mean? Say that you're an absolute madman. But no, we managed to do that through studying the forces of nature and not going against the forces of nature, but understanding forces of nature and working with them in order to manipulate them for our needs. The mind's a wondrous thing, isn't it? And after trial and error and long development and focus and concentration by great minds, we go to the airports now like it's nothing. Just like jumping in your car. You know what I mean? We all get vexed because we're having to wait in line in immigration and all that. Hate going through immigration, by the way. I mean, they treat you like dogs. I don't like it. But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of fact now, isn't it? So what I'm trying to get at, right? What I'm trying to get at is all of a sudden you've mastered this mathematics to get this huge hulk of piece of machinery in the air and fly hundreds of miles an hour, and other aircraft breaking the speed of sound and whatnot, and flying ridiculous heights and going into space as well and all that type of stuff. Don't you think that a higher mind with a more in-depth understanding of the laws of nature could build a better plane than us, or what exists now? Because we build better planes now than what we did 20, 30, 40 years ago. Constant development. So how do you know someone secretly secretly know more stuff, knows more maths, more science, and just built a round plane that utilizes different laws? Higher laws. Privy to laws that we don't even know exist yet. We don't have names for it yet because we're not aware. Around a plane that can travel faster than your planes. I don't think it's aliens. I really don't. It's a plane built by men. I think once we come into contact with these planes on a mass scale, I think we're going to find out that it's human beings on there. Do you know what I mean? I think we're in for a big shock, personally. I forgot the name of this guy. I think he used to work for the CIA or whatever, or one of them secret agencies in America, part of a space program type thing, or NASA, something like that anyway. And I think it was back in the 50s or the 40s. I forgot his name. And I think it had something to do with Area 51, if I'm not mistaken. Long story short, they questioned him on, because he seen who was flying these baby planes. And I think one crashed or whatever. I can't quite remember the proper story, you know what I mean? So I'm quite nebulous about it at the minute. But what I do remember is he seen the driver or a couple of drivers, and he said they were basically humans. Dark-skinned human beings with a kind of Asian look to them. But humans, not aliens, humans, right? But then afterwards, after a while, he changed his story for some strange reason and said they look like greys, like the alien look now that we've been accustomed to over the years. But apparently he wrote a book, a science fiction book, right? And in the science fiction book, the pilots of the so-called flying saucers in a science fiction book, he's given the same description as his original description of basically the men. Looking like men. Ain't that something? So I was looking for his book online. It's a bit pricey. You know what I mean? But I got it anyway, because I want to see it for myself. So it's like, why did you take it back and then now you've put it in fiction? You know what I mean? It's like, all of the first sightings of aliens, all the people were saying the same thing. The dark, Asian looking people, not aliens. And then afterwards, you got all these stories of aliens, of all these, abductions and whatnot. So, when you research and read up on it all this UFO stuff, you can see there's been a lot of disinformation and misinformation as well. Stuff that it's too late to take back, so they've distorted the truth about it. You know what I mean? So it's not as cut and dried as everyone thinks it is. Do you know what I mean? But I'm of the personal opinion, from what I've researched and whatnot, of these pilots of these planes, humans. I don't think there's no aliens coming over here from another planet. You know what I mean? Can't breathe out atmosphere because they're germane to their own planet. You don't forget, you are your planet. We think that we're separate from our planet just because we walk on the surface. No, we are the planet. We're the elements. We breathe the fine atmosphere of air and take in the ether and the other gases. We are this planet. And when we die, we're dissolved back to the original elements of the planet because we're the planet. Do you know what I mean? So from a being from another planet, that's what they're made of. Their planet, they breathe in that particular mixture of gas. So if anything, if they come here, they'd have to have some sort of breathing apparatus. Not taking off helmets and breathing our air, because it wouldn't be compatible. Especially these other planets nearby, Mars, Venus or whatever, they can't breathe over here. We can't breathe over there. But, they're constantly talking about these sightings of so-called aliens and all that, and they've seen some of the faces and they took the helmets off and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't believe that. You'd have to have breathing apparatus. Do you know what I mean? And that puts me on to another thing as well. All these ancient civilizations. How did we build these civilizations? And it must have been aliens. Come on, mate. Come on. Come on. Give people credit. Do you know what I mean? If you have wars and whatnot, or if the ruling class or whatever are privy to something disastrous that's going to happen down the line and need to go away for a while and be out of the picture and hide certain documents or whatever, or they're just plain been trashed through warfare or whatever, and people forget how to do things, then it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's like say you've got the knowledge to do something now, and you get killed, and everyone else gets killed, and there's no one to pass this knowledge on, then no one can do it no more then. So again, aliens building sorry about that, sun just barging in. But yeah, aliens building ancient civilizations? No. It's just people who were very adept at their work. you know. It might have took them a few generations as well, or they might have had technology to build it faster than we build, you know. But no, yet again, people who are just very well developed at maths, you know, highly developed masons, builders. So all of this alien stuff, I'm not buying it, mate. I really am not buying it. You know what I mean? We don't give ourselves enough credit. Do you know what I mean? People who lived before us, they didn't have all of these distractions, you know. When you went to the temples to study in Egypt, the curriculum was 42 years. 42 years of liberal arts and everything else. A Nishitori system, 42 years. When the Greeks came over to get taught from the Egyptian priests, they had to be initiated on top of that to see how they fared with the knowledge. And then even then, I think the one that studied the most was Thales, was at 20 odd something years. So he only did half. And then they sent him away. You know, and then you've got to think to yourself, how come none of them finished? Why did they get sent away? That's something else to think about. Egypt was when we were falling anyway. It wasn't the apex. Everyone thinks we're in the apex. You know. Been on here for 20 minutes. I veered off. I weren't going to talk about any of this, but it's just veered off over to this way. But yeah, one last thing before I go. If you're supposed to be part of an ancient, illustrious civilization, why are you constantly digging up your dead? If that's your people, ain't that sacrilege? Why would you let everyone come in and just dig up the dead? It's your dead, innit? Put your dead all on display. I'm talking about Egypt, obviously. That's your people. You are that people. You come from that people. But that you're digging up all of your dead. That's not your dead. Would you dig up your dead? And your people? Huh? That's why it's so easy for them to keep on digging and digging up bones and putting bones out here and dead and taking coffin lids away, and let them rest in peace. If it's your dead, they're dead. They rest in peace. That tells me that's not your people. You wouldn't dig up your people. No one's digging up their people. And then everyone else coming and digging up their people. That's not your people, man. But yeah. Life. Yeah, man, it gets very annoying sometimes. So just putting the effort to stay on top of things. You know, or you find yourself falling under very, very easily and quickly before you know it. Because life can get rough sometimes. You know. Yeah, put that effort in to get yourself back up. It's not easy. You know what I mean? It's just like weightlifting. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, I suppose. But yeah, all right then. 25 minutes. Been on there enough. Okay, peace. I'm out.